Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkraiTV here, and I attempted a Pokemon X Nuzlocke. Like the title of the video suggests, I'll only be using fairy types in this Nuzlocke. Some of the fairy type encounters I'm able to catch in this Nuzlocke are pretty strong, but the majority of encounters have less than a great base stat total of well below 500. Fairy typing comes pretty strong in the field of offense with good special attack. It also has the huge advantage of being super effective and immune against dragons, so most of the run shouldn't be way too challenging. I do have to be careful about the Elite Four, as Wickstrom wields some powerful steel types who have great typing and coverage in general. The selection of encounters is decently large. Here's what's available. We have Wigglytuff, Mr. Mime, Azumarill, Gramble, Gardevoir, Florges, Slurpuff, Sylveon, Dedenne, Carbink, and Klefki. Let's see what I can do with these fairies. You all know the rules by now, but here goes. All fainted Pokemon must be permaboxed. There's no leveling past the gym leader's ace, and for the Elite Four, the cap will be 65. In-game items are also not allowed. I must catch the first fairy encounter on each route, and finally, dupes clause. I'll have more on these rules in the description down below. Quickly before we start, make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy this kind of content. 98% of you watching aren't subscribed, it only takes a second and really helps out us smaller creators. Thank you so much, let's get started. After gathering up with these funky looking strangers, I pick my starter and I go for Chespin. This is because Fennekin is the only starter whose final evolution I won't be super effective against. Before making it to the first gym, I find a wild Azurill who I catch with a Premier Ball and end up calling Jasmine. Can you guys guess what the name theme will be for this video? She has the ability Thick Fat, which isn't as good as Huge Power, but it'll do. Her ability Gentle also increases her special defense, which is great on her. I waste a bunch of time building up her affection on Pokemon ME, but realize that doesn't increase her friendship, so I have to spend another few hours on walking her around to finally let her evolve into a Marill. And here she is. Now, she's able to learn Rollout and Defense Curl, which will be a deadly combo for the first gym to handle. I destroy all the gym trainers, and finally I take on Viola. She has a Surskit who's very much non-threatening, so I set up with a Defense Curl here to boost the damage of Rollout, and then start the sweep. One Rollout doesn't take her out, but Jasmine's second hit secures the KO. Vivillon's up next, and due to Jasmine's 4 times effectiveness, it's an easy one hit. And just like that, we have our very first gym badge. After this, I run into a wild rare white Flabébé. I could have found a Ralts here, which would have been more preferable, but to be honest, this special card Flabébé is just as cool. I catch her and I name her Belle. She has a brave nature, which is really bad as it increases her attack while she's a special attacker. These two rangers then give me the tea in return and teach me about the powers of friendship. But trust me, after using my entire morning on bringing up Jasmine, I know. I then bump into Lysander and he starts telling me about his aspirations and goals, but I really think he should be working on changing up his haircut first. I mean, does he own any mirrors? I then find your mom, a Snorlax, blocking this bridge, so I hit the Perfume Palace to find a Pokeflute to get her to move. The owner's Furfrou has gone missing, but I don't know how that could happen in this tiny house. It must be somewhere in his miniature garden. I take this rusty bridge walk into his tiny backyard, find his Furfrou, and manage to keep on going with the plot. Things do get spicy when watching the fireworks with Shauna though. After this, I find a wild Swirlix, catch her, and name her Rapunzel. Her nature is quirky, which oddly enough is very neutral. Here, I run into an issue. I haven't been able to allow impossible evolutions for this run, so I won't be able to evolve her at any point. That sucks, but there's really nothing I can do. After leveling up Belle, she finally evolves and turns into a much more powerful Floette. I then stumble upon this golden statue of a Magikarp. I think they made the perfect choice here with this statue. After brushing up on my ride-on-riding skills, I find a wild Snubbull who I end up naming Merida. She evolves into a Gramble, whose nature is once again neutral. I then finally take on the second gym leader, Grant, and I lead with Jasmine here. I once again start off with Rollout here, but get paralyzed instantly. The next Rollout connects and brings Amora down low, and after easily tanking Aurora Beam, Jasmine finishes the fight with Rollout. Next up is Tyrant, and he genuinely has no chance here as a bulked up Rollout doesn't KO at first, but easily takes him down right after. Good work, Jasmine. I then find a cute little Dedenne, who I catch and I name Aurora. His ability is Docile, which once again does absolutely nothing. I mean, come on Pokemon, can't we even have a bit of spice here? I head to the Tower of Mastery and find this beautiful Mega Lucario statue. I love when Pokemon adds these kinds of cool statues and other game elements. It adds so much more personality into the games and makes them so much more memorable for me. My admiring session quickly ends though, as Serena challenges me here in a battle for the Mega Ring. I go with Jasmine while she goes for Meowstic. After flinching right off the bat, she sets up with light screen while I set up with defense scroll. You can probably guess what's about to happen here. I go with rollout as per usual. I easily tank all her hits, and after landing a couple more rollouts, Meowstick goes down. Next up is Absol, who actually ends up landing a crit with Slash, leaving Jasmine super low, but alive enough to finish his career in one move. I guess that Pokemon and me training did come in handy after all, as I survived Braixen's hit due to affection. I do miss rollout though, and have to switch out to Merida here. I forget he has Fire Spin, so I can't switch out. I go for a dig here, but it's barely not enough to take out Braixen, and that's the end of it for Merida. You've done well. I then send out Rapunzel to finish this battle off. After landing my first round, I tank another Psybeam and then finish the battle off. You actually did good, Serena. Well played. I'm not too scared of the next gym here due to my typing advantage. Here we come, Corinna. Me and Fu's up first while I go for Aurora. I flinch at first, but then switch out using Volt Switch and I send out Rapunzel. I go for a Draining Kiss to finish her off and regain all of my lost health. Machoke tanks Draining Kiss pretty well, but isn't able to deal a whole lot of damage back. Even after using Hyper Potion, I keep on spamming Draining Kiss and eventually score the KO too. Here comes Corinna's ace, a Hawlucha. She actually ends up getting a crit here and nearly takes Rapunzel out, so after Drain Kissing her, I decide to switch out to Aurora. I go for one Volt Switch and it's easily enough to win the game here. There goes the third gym leader. I then hop on this Go-Goat and find myself a Shining Stone, which will allow Floyd to evolve later on. I gotta say, I love the idea of jumping to the opposite direction of ledges. Nice job, Game Freak. Serena then challenges me at the entrance to the fourth gym. Maybe she'll be more prepared this time. Or not. I lead with Aurora and go with a Thunder Wave. I then start my long queue of Parabolic Charges to keep Aurora alive and healthy for Serena's next Pokemon. She sends out Absol next, and I of course go with Thunder Wave. I then keep on going with Parabolic Charge once again, but I get crit once again by Absol, and have to switch out to Jasmine here. She easily finishes him off with a Surf. That silly dog stood no chance. Jasmine is also perfect for Braixen, as even though he manages to barely tank one Surf, the next one's the finisher. You're not gonna win, Serena. Keep on dreaming. I then head into the grass gym and take on the fourth gym leader, Ramos. I keep up with my Parabolic Charge strategy here and start slowly but surely draining Jumpluff's health. After 3 hits, I switch into a Azumarill and set up with Defense Curl yet again. I then go with Rollout, and to my surprise, the second one already kills. Weeping Bell doesn't do any better here either and gets KO'd instantly. Go-Goat, his ace is up next, but even he isn't strong enough to handle Rollout. Wow, I had never used Rollout before starting these Nuzlocks, but this move is heavily underrated. After wandering about in the desert, I head to Kalos' very own power plant. While looking around, I find this great deal on a water bottle. I only have to pay 300 instead of 200. What a steal! With this fresh water in handy, I feel brave enough to take on Team Flare. Houndoom is up first, so I lead with Rapunzel due to her moveset. She learns Surf, so she's perfect for this battle. The first 2 hits don't kill, but the third time's the charm, and just like that, Flare's admin goes down. Aliana takes me on next. Even though these Flare members have high-leveled Pokemon, they only have one of them. I wish they would have made this game harder by giving them just a few more Pokemon. It would make it way more challenging, and make these playthroughs a lot more fun too. Rapunzel gets confused right off the bat, and after hitting herself in confusion a couple times, Mighty Anna so generously switches her out to Belle. Belle doesn't end up getting hit by confusion, and actually manages to hit Mighty Anna. She also gets swapped out back into Rapunzel, who manages to finish the battle off with a couple of Draining Kisses. I then stumble into Clement, who ends up lighting up the city's very own Eiffel Tower. I've never actually been to Paris, but I can't let this fake copy go around without facing consequences, so I take on Clement to teach him a lesson. Clement leads with Emolga, while I start with Aurora. I go for a Parabolic Charge here, but I end up hitting Magneton. I then go for Dig, and with Aurora's 4 times effectiveness, this makes sure it's a definite one hit. I go with Dig against Heliolisk too, and although I barely survive his hits, Aurora outspeeds him and takes him out with the next hit. Emolga's back up now, and there's no running away. I go for a Parabolic Charge here, which ends up being a crit and nearly restores Aurora back to full health. After another crit, it's game over. Emolga can try all he wants, but it's already over. Parabolic Charge finally ends up taking him out too. GG Clement. Serena once again challenges me here. Just like last time, I go with Aurora. I start off with Thunder Wave, and then start off by going for Thunderbolt. Meowstick can move for 2 turns in a row, and due to this, I end this battle unscathed. Next up is Serena's Absol. I want to make sure to stay on high health here, so I keep on going with Parabolic Charge. This ends up working perfectly, as I managed to challenge Delphox 2 with nearly full HP. I go for a Thunder Wave here, and then I'm forced to switch out to Jasmine. I get hit by Psybeam, but I handle it well. One Surf isn't enough to take the win here, but the second one easily is. Why do you keep trying, Serena? Shauna then gives us this speech about what's truly important in life, but then laughs it off and goes her own way. I wonder what that was all about. Here comes the 6th gym leader, Valerie. I lead with Jasmine and go for a Surf here at first. I don't want to finish Mobile off right away, so I go for a Dig and make sure she heals up. I then go for another Surf and I set up my defense curl as all her potions are used up. I go for one last Surf and then go for a Rollout. 2 rollouts luckily enough don't kill, which lets me have a much more powerful attack for Valerie's next Pokemon. Mr. Mime sets up Light Screen, but to no avail here as one rollout finishes her off. Then is the all-powerful Sylveon, who also fades to a single rollout. Jasmine, you really are a superstar. I then head into the Pokeball factory to put an end to Team Flare's evil doing. I destroy all the Team Flare admins, and I'm given the choice between a Big Nugget and a Master Ball. You already know that I'm gonna go with a Big Nugget. I gotta make those money moves. I then find one of the most essential Pokemon for this journey, a Wild Klefki. I catch her and I call her Mulan. Her calm nature is actually pretty decent as it raises her special defense. I then take on Team Flare's Mabel, and it's pretty clear that her Houndoom stands no chance against Jasmine. The first Surf does loads of damage to Houndoom, and as she really doesn't do much damage here, an effortless Surf is enough to take her out. Off you go, a bum of snow. After then riding on the Mamoswine through the snowy patch, I once again sweep through Serena's entire team and take on the 7th gym leader, Olympia. She starts off with Sigilif, so I go for Aurora. I outspeed her here and take her down with a single Thunderbolt. Slowking actually manages to handle one Thunderbolt and sets up with Yawn. I easily finish her off with the next hit, but not without being forced to switch out due to falling asleep. I forgot to record Floette evolving with the Shiny Stone, my bad, but here comes Florges. Her special defense is insane, so this battle shouldn't be too much of an issue. She starts setting up with Calm Mind, while I keep on battering her with Moonblasts. She heals up here, and due to her Calm Mind usage, I need to switch to a physical move. I go with Return here, and it does a surprisingly large amount of damage. After way too much rinsing and repeating, and a bunch of her healing, she finally goes down. Now, for some Team Flare action. Lysander spends all his time contacting me, but he genuinely should spend that time contacting a barber. Come on Lysander, you can do better than that. After easily sweeping through both Lysander and 06 team, I once again get the choice to pick a switch. I'll go with the red one here, cause blue is just way too basic. The switch makes these 3 rocks go down for some reason. I wonder what that's all about. I head into Team Flare's HQ and take on Lysander for the second time. Aurora is perfect for this battle, so I lead with her. Play Rough is an easy one hit on Mienshao. Gyarados is up next, and his 4 times weakness to Electric is the end of him, as one shot manages to easily take the win. Pyroar damages Aurora severely here, so after hitting Pyroar hard with Thunderbolt, I switch out to Jasmine here. As you can expect, Surf is an easy one hit kill here. Honchkro's up last, so I switch to Mulan for the typing advantage. One Dazzling Gleam isn't quite enough to end the battle off, but the next one secured the win. Maybe you can do better next time, Lysander. After running through a bunch of Team Flare grunts and admins, and easily sweeping through them like they were Route 3 encounters, I reached the deepest part of Team Flare's HQ. Before this, I tried to sell my Master Ball for some spare cash, but as I can't, I knew I made the right choice by picking the Nugget. Xerneas makes its majestic appearance at the bottom of the HQ, and I'm forced to catch my next teammate, Xerneas. Nah, I'm just kidding. I don't use legendaries, but imagine my team if I did end up using it. It'll go right in the box. This infuriates Lysander, as him and his metal mosquitoes would have needed Xerneas for his Fairy Nuzlocke, and so he challenges me to a duel. I lead the battle with Aurora once again, and decimate his Mienshao with Play Rough. Aurora doesn't manage to get the KO with his first Thunderbolt, but the next one easily takes Pyroar out. With Honchkrow up next, I decide to switch into Mulan here, and start setting up with Calm Mind to prepare for Mega Gyarados. I successfully end up going for 4 Calm Minds here, before effortlessly taking out his Honchkrow in one hit. Lysander's Mega Gyarados is up next, but due to some EV training in speed and a buffed up special attack, he doesn't pose any threat as Dazzling Gleam causes his demise. After Lysander takes the L here, he cries and self-destructs his entire headquarters. Somehow, all of us make it out of here without a scratch. Did you guys enjoy battling Lysander and X? I personally thought he had a pretty cool team and I liked his Mega Evolution, but I'd love to hear what you guys thought in the comments down below. I run into a Jigglypuff, catch her, and name her Cinderella. Her bold nature doesn't help us out much here. Using a Moonstone, she evolves into a Wigglytuff whose moveset is pretty insane. Here comes one of the scariest moments in this Nuzlocke so far, the 8th gym. Due to Abumasnow's poor moveset, I start setting up with Calm Mind. After landing 3 Calm Minds, I actually get frozen here, which absolutely sucks. I'm frozen for 2 turns, but then miss my shot whenever I thaw out. I take him out on the next shot though, but now Mulan's at low HP. Hail is gonna be deadly. Cryogonal outspeeds me here, but sets up with Hail, which allows me to take him out with a mirror shot. Although Avalug's physical defense is insanely high, his special defense not so much, as 1 mirror shot is enough to end this battle with only 26 HP left to go. Here we come, Elite Four. I make my way to Victory Road, ready to take on the hardest challenge of the game, the Pokemon League. Before this, I catch my final teammate, Mr. Mime. I name him Pocahontas, and his serious nature once again does absolutely nothing. Serena's final battle is once again a complete pushover. Meowstic gets taken out by 2 Moonblasts. After wish stalling with Bell and setting up with Mr. Mime, Aurora easily takes Delphox out. Altaria barely survives a Thunderbolt, but switches out to Jolteon here, who goes down to a couple digs. Altaria can't hide any longer, as 1 more Thunderbolt ends her entire career. I send out Mulan to finish the job here, and as expected, she destroys Absol with Dazzling Gleam. See ya next time, Serena. After taking a photo of the road to show my mum after I absolutely destroyed Diantha, I feel ready enough and I take on the Pokemon League. This building is beautiful from the inside. Oh, if only Cynthia got such a wonderful Pokemon League building to battle in. I take on the Water Wielder Seabolt first. I naturally lead with Aurora here due to his typing, and I nearly take out Clowitzer with a single Thunderbolt. It's a low roll, so it doesn't kill. He then crits me, leaving me with just 12 HP, but that's easily enough to take him down the next turn. Seabolt then sends out yet another Gyarados to add on to the list of 1-hit kills. Barbaracle won't be such an easy kill though, so I have to switch out to Bell to spare Aurora's life. Although the first Petal Blizzard isn't enough, Barbaracle misses both his attacks, allowing for an easy takedown with a few more Petal Blizzards. Last but not least is his Starmie. Even with the help of his Light Screen, Petal Blizzard still does massive damage and allows for an easy 2-hit takedown on Starmie. We then face the Fire-type Tamer, Malva. Jasmine is perfect for this with her thick fat ability. Although 1 Surf isn't enough to finish off Pyroar, the second hit is more than enough to score the win. Even with a crit, Talonflame really doesn't hurt Jasmine here, as she gets off another Surf with ease. Talonflame gets yet another crit, but that Pokemon and me training really comes in handy again, and Jasmine tanks the hit with 1 health, after which she ends the battle with a Surf. I don't want to take any risks here against Torkoal, so I switch to Bell. I go with Wish, but he ends up getting a crit too. I mean, what even are the odds? After surviving another Earthquake, Wish activates and heals up Bell. I repeat this strategy for quite a long while until Torkoal finally gets wiped out. Now comes Malva's final team member, a Chandelure. She goes for a Confuse Ray off the bat, and Bell ends up damaging herself here. After landing a Moonblast, I realize this is yet again going to be a spam montage, so here you go. Aurora finally takes out Chandelure and Malva too. 2 more members to go. I then go for by far the easiest battle based on typing matchups here. Dresna the Dragon Tamer. Her Dragalge's poison typing could provide a threat here, but Mulan's steel typing is the perfect counter. This allows Mulan to set up with 4 Calm Minds with ease, and to 2-shot Dragalge with Mirror Shot. Then comes Noivern. Her Flamethrower would be super scary here, but 4 Calm Minds allows Mulan to easily tank the hit, and annihilate her with Dazzling Gleam. Dredigan's up last, and she most certainly doesn't stand a chance, as 1 Dazzling Gleam completely wipes her out. I saved the worst for last. Here comes Wickstrom. He leads with Klefki, while I go with Jasmine due to her water typing. Klefki sets up with Spikes here, while I go for Surf. His Flash Cannon doesn't do too much, as another Surf easily takes him out. Probopass is up next, so I go with a Surf here to deal some serious damage. His Discharge isn't too scary, as Jasmine easily tanks it and takes him out with a Surf. Caesar is up next, and after going for a Surf to deal some hefty damage, Jasmine finally gets taken out. You've made it insanely far, Jasmine. Well played, soldier. I then send out Pocahontas, who tries to go for the Reflect, but gets 1 hit by Bullet Punch. RIP. I then go for Aurora, Outspeed, and 1-hit Scizor. Last up is his Aegislash. He always goes for King's Shield first, so I go for a Thunder Wave here to paralyze him. Thunderbolt does decent damage, but I'm forced to switch out here to Cinderella right after. I outspeed him and get the 1 hit with Flamethrower. Now, with all the Elite Four left behind, only Diantha's left to go. I have 4 Pokemon left, let's see what I can do. Here we come, champion. She leads with Hawlucha while I go for Aurora. She does some big damage with Poison Jab, but falls to a single Thunderbolt. Tyrantrum is up next, so I secure some chip damage with Play Rough and get taken out right after. You are an MVP, Aurora. I send out Mulan and set up with a Calm Mind here. I then finish him off with a Dazzling Gleam. Gudra's up next, and even though I'm paranoid of her flamethrower, I somehow manage to tank it and finish her off with another Dazzling Gleam. Now, for Auroras. Mirror Shot is 4 times effective here, so it's an easy kill. Gourgeist should go for Shadow Sneak here, so I switch it to Cinderella, and this ends up being perfect. The first flamethrower doesn't kill, but after surviving on low HP, Cinderella finishes the battle with another hit. Mega Gardevoir is up last, and she obviously takes down Cinderella. Mulan also faints to just one shot. Only Belle left to go. We both lead with a Moonblast here, after which we both repeat the same move again. I then go for Wish as my Citrus Berry heals me up, and Gardevoir goes for a full restore. I hit her, and then go for another Wish. I hit Return, and Wish heals me up once again. One more Return finishes the battle off, and geez, that battle was close. I should have definitely came into this battle a bit more prepared, but hey, we won, and that's all that matters, right? This was my first time ever using Fairy types, so this run was a lot of fun. I also love using Rollout, what an insane move. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this run as much as I enjoyed playing it. If you enjoyed the video, remember to like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below on what you want to see next. I'll see you guys soon, peace out.